Okay, so apparently we are going to have a game here. It's not valid for the TG tournament, but the teams are full. It's Team Spanish against Team Francais. Okay, it seems that Team 2 is actually a valid team from the tournament. So we will have Team Spanish against Team Francais. I'm not sure what were the bans. Maybe I've lost that. Okay, but it's probably... Well, they didn't ban Ptolemy's 42. This is interesting. It seems that they are not actually playing by the rules of the tournament, which is strange, but it's fine. So what we have here is that Raul, Ricksand, Chester, and Said against Wendy, Unknown Player, Boudica, and Extreme. I don't think this is heavily unbalanced. I would give T1 a little bit of an edge, but I think T2 has a good chance to put up with a good fight. So I would not say T1 is very overpowered here, especially given that they lost the previous game that we had today. So let's see what happens. I'm just curious why they are not playing by the rules. Yeah, this is weird. So if this is practice game from the tournament, each team should ban 2 civs. So for example, T1 ban 2 civs for T2 and T2 ban 2 civs for T1, and you can't repeat the same civilization on the same team. But it seems that they will proceed, at least they are not having repeated civs, and they will not make any bans. Let's see what we have here, if they start. Waiting for an unknown player. A little bit of an undecisiveness from the host to specify what happens. Okay, maybe we'll have a game now. Okay, I think this is nice. It seems that nobody's taking Ptolemy's. Oh, we have actually a goal in T2. Okay, let's go. And they are not even playing Balanced Mainland. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's see the borders. Okay, fortunately, 41, they have Chester, a Zibber border here, and he's bordering unknown player. Now, on the other side, we have Said with, I think might be Athens, yeah, probably, bordering extreme as the Romans. Okay, let's take a look here. Said with 2 extra berries, good hunt here near these berries as well. Awesome location for Said. We have Rixand as well. Rixand does not have much except a tiny patch of hunt. Actually, he has pretty decent hunt if he intends to. We have Raouz as well. He has somewhat decent hunt, no extra berries, but he can use it a little bit. Not much though. And we have Chester here with 2 extra, well, actually 3 extra berries. Chester has the script activated today. We also have Unknown Player playing as the Spartans, and he has pretty decent hunt. He has extra berries as well, nice berries, unfortunately near to the border. He has an extra patch of metal as well, which is always what you want to see when playing Spartans. We have Wendy here as the goals. She has an extra berries, does not seem to have any hunt. And finally, we have Boudica here as the Persians with pretty decent hunt. Well, actually pretty good hunt near extra bears as well. This is a huge patch. Wow, that's pretty good. As Persians, this is what you want to do when you want to exploit. And Boudica seems to actually be doing cavalry recently, so he might go for the late game cav, which is pretty strong, if it's possible for the player to reach that stage. Now, we see some early cavalry from Rixand. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so as the Athenians, he has already 4 cavalry, making 2 additional women. I'm not sure if he scouted this extra hunt, I think he sees that. So Rixand should be fine with that regard. He just finished the house, going for 6 additional women. Okay, this is pretty good, he also can take this hunt as well. Now from T2 we see also a small cavalry from Raouz. Just taking, well, he actually has 2 cav and putting 2 more cav in field at the moment. So he has a pretty decent hunt as well. Pretty, a little inefficient together though. Okay, he's going for the farmstead here. Yeah, this is good. He should be able to get this hunt more efficiently. Now on the other side, on T2, we see that Wendy and Boudica have started their cavalries. Now, Wendy with a little bit of idle CC time, okay, going for 2 women. He has this patch of berries. I'm not sure he sees any other hunt. I think there was a patch for him. Yeah, he does not have any significant hunt, so just for this hunt here. And we have Boudica already starting the Persian engine. So Boudica should be able to get these berries, get this pretty good patch of hunt here. He should be able to take this hunt as well. Yeah, this is pretty good for Boudica, the Persians. And he has already the stables. So what's nice about the Persians is that you can build stables and they cost only stone. So for example, if you would go for a barracks, you would invest something like 300 wood or 150 wood, 150 stone. But if you are doing cavalry, with just a small, I'm not sure if it's 100 stone actually. How much is it? Where are the stables? Where are the stables? Oh yeah, the stables. Yeah, 200 stone. So you usually wouldn't use the stone at the start, but you can make the stables, and yeah, it's pretty good. And as you can see, Boudica has already a sizable amount of cavalry. He can even go further, but yeah, he's pop capped, unfortunately for him. He's going for 2 houses here, but he should be able to to make even more cavalry. And going for a small raid with 10 cavalry. At the same time, from Raouz, he has already 6 spear cavalry. They can defend quite well. and Boudica is going in the direction of Said. Said unfortunately don't have any army yet. He's making 4 skirmishers, as he also has a little bit of cavalry, 5 cavalry. He should be able to defend, but he would have to have the units gather together to help defend them. Okay. Now Boudica will approach from this side, we'll be able to harass these berries. It depends actually from Said's abilities to react fast from this aggression. Okay, he brings the women back. Said didn't make a house here, but he should be able to put them inside here. Boudica splits his forces. This is not a good location for him to split into. And he kills 4 and lost only 1 cavalry so far. But Boudica really should retreat this cavalry. One is, yeah, he already lost 2. So 4 for 2, yeah, it's not the greatest trades if you killed only women. And especially since your economy is so delayed. And with the infantry that Said was producing, now he should be able to defend, but not like this. You can't spread out your units so much. But with this cavalry, he should be able to defend right now. Okay, so in this early aggression, yeah, for some reason Said is a little bit behind, but I think that Boudica is producing a lot of women, and that's why he has the population lead. Now, we also see Raouz leaving. Going for some aggression. Going for Boudica would be good for him. We also have this aggression from Raouz. Oh, not Raouz. From Wendy. Yeah, Wendy lost 1. Chester killed 1. Okay, let's see. Where did this cav go to? Yeah, these are the cav from Raouz. Said still hunting. What is Boudica doing? Only women at the base, so he's very exposed. I think it would be really strong from Raouz if he went there. But he decided to go here for these berries. And he didn't get anything from here. But at least he was able to deny these berries location from Wendy. But I think if you see that one player is Persians and going for a lot of cavalry, sometimes it's good to go to the player as a counter rush, because usually they are overproducing women. Now at the same time, we don't see any action from the other side. We see a very strong boom from T1, especially Chester, since he has so many extra berries. Yeah, he should be able to boom quite strongly. Now Raouz goes to this location. If he micros well and avoids the spearman, he should be able to take a lot of women. I would like to see him go around. Yeah, not to stay at the wood, because if he has only infantry, they will surely be only at the wood. So you can go around and then just deny the berries and the farms. So this is better. And Boudica is only now producing 2 spearmen. So this is good damage on Boudica from Raouz. And doing that is also good, because then you are distracting this player. You already distracted other players, and meanwhile your team is booming quite well. So even though Raouz is also very greedy, he has only 4 infantry at home, only doing women and this spear cavalry. If he goes unpunished, then T1 can get ahead quite a bit. Now Boudica with this 8 cavalry coming on top. I really think this was not good for Boudica. I think the investment didn't pay off, and now he's in a... I mean, yeah. And now he's in a not very great situation. Okay, we have a pause here. Some chit chat going on in the spec chat. And we have a pause. Okay, and back.
EST?
Now, let's see. Chester tried to deny these bears, but he sees discovery from unknown player. He should not be able to do that. Unknown player is booming quite decently as well. He's the biggest booming player from T2. Raul's keeping on with the harassment. I think he has only... Yeah, he has only one unit behind 50% population, so he should be able to go around and harass these farms a little bit more if he wants to. These berries won't be denied anytime soon, especially with 8 skirmishers here. Unless if Chester went with all of his infantry there. Which could be quite inefficient. Okay, and we see that Raul's harass I was talking about. I think this is good. And he gets a little bit more. He should be able to retreat now. He should retreat now. Yeah. I think this is already good harassment. It's already enough. Because you distracted the food production and you also had a few kills as well. And you also denied these berries here, which is huge. Okay, I think we should be able to turn off colors now. Okay, and we have 2 players rushing at the same time on Extreme. We have Said and Rose. But I don't think there's too much to attack here, especially if Extreme has Spear Cavalry. And we see also Rickson trying to join on the action here against Boudica, but he does not have a lot of cavalry.
EST?
At the same time, Wendy is trying to cut off units from Rose. But he misses them completely. I think he was not aware. Now he sees. But this should be denied if Rose and Rickson work together against you. But this is bad for Rickson. He shouldn't be fighting this. Okay, I think we'll have the situation stabilized for a bit now. What do you have here? Yeah, Said could go for some... Yeah, no, not against 6 Spear from Extreme. But it's good because he's going against Boudica. So I think strategy from T2 is good. I think they are trying to deny Boudica booming up with cavalry as well. Because if you go late cav at the early game, at the end of the game, you get... It's really strong. It's... like you can get really efficient fights. Now what we see here from an unknown player, he found a lot of exposed women from Chester. This is weird because he has a lot of infantry here and he didn't split a lot of units here. And so far unknown player really getting good trades here and compensating for his team early mistakes. So pretty good move from an unknown player. He could even go around and harass these farms as well if he wants to. We also have Said trying a small incursion on Boudica, but Boudica has all his cavalry at home. We also have Wendy going down. Or just long distance hunting, okay. Now, what's the situation on this game? I think I still like T1 position a little bit more. Even though now that unknown player had that small success against Chester, he should be a little bit ahead in economy. Even though Chester has all the upgrades at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think unknown player even got a little bit more good trades because he has 15 kills now. And he's also destroying these houses, so this is a very good harass, especially if he's able to distract a lot of units from Chester to try and stop this cavalry from gathering all these houses. So it's a win-win for him. If Chester does not react, you can destroy the houses. If Chester reacts, he's taking units out of the economy. So this is a pretty good move for an unknown player, especially finding that pocket. So I was commenting, I really like T1's situation here. Though Team 2 now has a strong flank with a non-player, beating the other strong flank, which is Chester. A little bit ahead, actually. But I think T2 is not really that bad. The only problem is Boudica, which, since he was harassed by 2, and he had a lot of... he's having a lot of problems with his boom and was not efficient on his trades. So if Boudica can recover and not be harassed anymore, I think T2 still can do a good job. It will all depend if Extreme is able to have good fights against Said. But as we see, Said is already... Well, yeah, Said is already a little bit ahead of Extreme. Extreme with the small harasses, but he's not able to actually get a lot. He lost a cav there, he has 0 kills yet. So I would give this flank to Said, but it depends on if Extreme capitalizes on his technology advantage, tries to boom only, or maybe even get an early P3. Okay, oh, okay, yeah. So this is a very nice harass for a non-player, as I was mentioning. He is able to take these houses, he was able to see these farms as well, he's taking even more trades. So yeah, a non-player doing a stellar job here against Chester. And I think this flank is in his favor at the moment. But both him and Chester are not yet town phase. Actually, unknown player just went to P2. Yeah, I think he's strong. His flank is pretty strong. And at the same time, he has Wendy, which at the moment is the most far ahead of the players in terms of population. What I like about T2's position at the moment is that Wendy seems to have a strong position here on this border, while Said is actually all over the place. So for example, Extreme is taking a good map control here with this tower, denying these locations. He could go for another tower here. I think he's upgrading this one. Yeah, so I think this is I think Extreme is doing a good job here.
EST?
Boudica went for a little small harass as well again. 13 kills, yeah, not that much, but he still has a little bit of cabs, so it's fine, he didn't lose them.
EST?
Rauz was not able to find much after that small initial harass, and he boomed quite well behind it, as you can see here. Now, what I think could be a decider in this game is a non-player work against Chester. As you can see now, Chester is not so much ahead as we had before, and unknown player has a pretty strong boom. The only issue is that often unknown player does something which I call hibernating. So usually he gets a lot of booming, he gets a lot of economy advantage, but he does not capitalize on it. Even if he has a large infantry, he just hibernates, which is he waits a long time to get all the upgrades, even will to fight, get a big amount of ramps, and then only after that push. So I would be concerned with that for his team. If a non-player does not hibernate in this game and actually goes a little bit more aggressive, I think it should be really good for his team. But I think it would be good for his team if he ignores Chester. For example, he just makes a big defensive position on this line. Just a second. Sorry about that. So for example, makes a good defensive position against him in this location. Don't let Chester take map control as he's doing here. And then goes around and try to hit Rauz. This would be good for Wendy as well. I would expect Wendy to go to Rauz actually. I would still give a small bit of advantage to T1 on this flank in particular, but since Extreme is doing such a good job on this map control, I think they should be fine. I think this game is actually quite balanced at the moment. I don't see any team overpowering another. And Chester is creeping in. I think he's a little bit overconfident, even building a market on this location. I'm not sure what that means. He's a little bit overconfident that he will not be able to lose his position. Maybe he's underestimating unknown player boom. But I would expect to unknown player... Yeah, he's already advanced to city phase. That was just what I was going to say. I think unknown player should be going to P3 really soon. So he will finish P3 first. He should be able to also finish a fortress first. My biggest concern is if he will hibernate or not. He does not have a lot of stone. I'm not sure he'll be able to make a fort right away. Okay, he's bartering. So yeah, I think he'll go to the fort and push and deny this location for Chester. Yeah, I think he'll do that. I think this could be a good move, especially if Chester overcommits. He often does. So I think this would be good for an unknown player if he went aggressive here against Chester, deny all this location, especially if Chester overcommitted and tried to react and lost a lot of his army in the process. Because if that was the case, then Wendy will have free ability to do two things. One, try to deny even further from Chester, or to attack Rose or distract Rose. But I also would expect Rose to be a little bit more aggressive, but his boom is not quite great at the moment compared to the other players. Do we see any more action? Okay, we don't see... I don't think we had any more action between Extreme and Said on this flank, because Extreme has only one kill. We have a small harass here from Rauz on unknown player. Fortunately for him, unknown player overreacts here. Okay, and as I was mentioning, Chester is overcommitting on map control. I don't think this is a fight unknown player should take. I think he could just, you know, finish his fort, take these towers, make sure that Chester suicides, let him take this tower, make a lot of runs, destroy this location and get his advantage in the other way, because he should be aware that he has the P3 advantage. So for example, if he has the siege advantage and Chester does not have enough onto him, he can deny this area quite quickly. But this is quite bad for a non-player at the moment. He shouldn't be taking this fight. Yeah, this is quite bad for him. He should just, in my opinion, garrison these towers and let Chester take this tower here, no problem at all. What is interesting though is that unknown player has 54 kills. Okay, it's because of the harass before. Yeah, that's correct. So because of the harass before, he is able to have that advantage. Okay, we have Extreme going for a military camp here. We have a very aggressive CC from Rixand at the top. Rixand should be able to deny this military camp. I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with this location from Rixand. But if he has actually... yeah, he's not even P3 yet. And what we have... do we have any updates here? Okay. Now, what's interesting here is that Chester is a bit behind in population and he's trying to attack unknown player. So, for example, yeah, this is a bad move from unknown player. He does not even need to react here. Keep building the fort, let Chester units die to the tower here. They will die slowly, yes, but you still keep distracting these units that are not booming for Chester. Chester is in a bad situation economically. Let me see if they have any military advantage. Yeah, okay. Yeah, both Chester and unknown player do not have any military upgrades, but unknown player has the tech advantage. And if you're building, you can build it from the other side. Now, this is what I like to see, this kind of reaction from an unknown player, because this is not a good position for Chester to be in. He will lose units more faster than an unknown player can replace them. Okay, and we see now Said and Rixand attacking together Extreme 22. Now, what's interesting from T1 is that they are being very aggressive, even though their economy is not the best. Now, I'm not sure this is a good move. I think it might be effective because Extreme 22 does not have all units in position. He also does not have a defensive capability here, except for these towers here. He should... I think he was expecting to make this camp and protect this flank, but unfortunately for him he does not. And this is also a good move for T1, because they know that Boudica is behind as well. Now we see Rauz reinforcing here this attack on a non-player. I think this is the moment that Wendy will get out of her base now. I think this is the time. Now, interestingly, Chester does not have swordsman.
Yeah, see?
He has only a few, so he's quite vulnerable. As I was mentioning, he took a very severe economy hit from this aggression between him and unknown player. Now Rose is going for the attack here. Wendy is starting to react, I guess. Not yet. Yeah, Wendy is not reacting at all. Yeah, I think this is dangerous. I think Wendy needs to move as soon as possible here. At the same time, this attack from Said is being a little bit effective. I think that Boudica should be able to support here, and they can defend quite well. Yeah, I think this is fine. Yeah, Said lost some units there. Extreme was able to have even the same amount of kills than him. Now, we see, yeah, I hope that Wendy is... I think Wendy should be able to deny this... No, not actually. I'm not sure about that anymore. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, I think Wendy should be able to yeah, they will be able to deny this military camp. So this is good. I think this flank is in favor of T2 actually. Now for T1, I see that Boudica is being able to deny this location. Boudica was able to phase 3. The only issue for Boudica at the moment is just the booming. He does not have the population. We also see a small harass here from Raouz, which is quite effective because Wendy only had women gathering wood from this site, but he should be able to defend eventually with this man. Yeah, he does that. Now Chester going with the overly aggressive fortress. I'm really not liking Chester aggression here, but it might just work. It will depend if unknown player is able to get the siege out and put in location here, and also get his units in place to help here. Unfortunately for unknown player, he does not have a lot of wood. I'm not sure if he's communicating with Wendy, because he really needs that wood, and he needs probably more barracks. He only has 2, and they are idle. Yeah. Now, updates from Boudica team. It seems that Boudica has actually more infantry at the moment. He's trying to boom up. Usually what we see from Persians is that after 160, 170 population, they start to build up their cavalry and get the upgrades and etc. But they were able to defend this flank. Now, from this position here, I see that Wendy is still being up to keep with their population. Raouz as well, so this is a bit of a balanced fight between them. This upgraded tower from Chester should be impacting a little bit, but we also have one for a unknown player. I'm not sure this fort will go up though. Chester has 12 swordsmen. Are they on the tower? Okay, he has 6 swordsmen on the tower, so he should be able to deny this fort, but this swordsman should also be able to at least send these rams off, because unknown player is not in position to defend this. Now the problem for unknown player is that he does not have any barracks. Yeah, he has only 2. And they are idle again. So for example, you have a lot of resources, have idle barracks, idle CC. Yeah, this is not good for you. And these six swordsmen attack the fort. Yeah, they are able to divert from the fort. Yeah, this is quite bad for a non-player. They should actually, in my opinion, just go around and try to attack from this location, because the swordsmen then have to travel this distance. Now, Ricksand is in a good situation in terms of boom, but I'm not sure he will be able to inflict much damage here on Extreme. Now, Extreme has a ram. He's being attacked by a small push from Said as well. But he does not have a lot in position to defend against this. And Ricksand entrenching himself on this location against Extreme. Now, Wendy was able to push back Rose a bit, but reinforcements are just coming. We also, wow, we see Chester population. Yeah, as I was mentioning, often Chester overcommits to this map control. Yeah, as I was mentioning, small pause, but as I was mentioning, one thing that you can exploit against Chester is that he often overcommits with map control when it's not in his best interest. So, for example, I think he might be biased because of fights with other inexperienced players, but when they are afraid. But if you see that, you should know that, especially with the early harass than unknown player, that you are in a better situation in terms of infantry population and economy. So usually this is not really a good thing for Chester to do, and I would recommend it not overcommitting so much. We see also Chester population declining a lot, Rose population declining a lot. This flank is very strong from T2. On the other hand, for T1, I think this flank is stronger in this position, but I think that Ricksand is losing a lot of time here. I think he should have been way more aggressive right now. He probably, instead of focusing here on Extreme, let Extreme and Said battle this out and go straight for Boudica, because he knew Boudica was a bit behind on the earlier game. And as you can see here, Boudica is way more exposed than Extreme. Extreme has this very strong defensive position here. So if Extreme holds this from Said, and I think he should be able to for a considerable amount of time, I think T2 can trample this flank here. The only issue with T2 not trample this flank that I see is unknown player keep hibernating and not producing units. For example, he has still 2 barracks and not producing units. Oh yeah, okay, it's because he's Spartans. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. So he's 180 population capped. Yeah, he can't produce more than that. But anyway, what we see from a unknown player is due to contest fighting. He's just right now starting his upgrades. I don't like this from Chester. He has 95 population and a lot of them are here building these towers in a losing fight against Wendy. I really don't like this from Chester. I think he's overcommitting a lot to this map control. Maybe he's mistaken thinking that he is ahead, probably because of unknown player passivity, but he's not really ahead here. And as we can see, as I was mentioning before, unknown player had a lot of runs before, he's going for the RAM upgrade. Okay. Now, this is an exposed location for Extreme 22. We also see Boudica starting to move out with his cavalry. I don't like this cavalry going to the front line. I think this cavalry would be more effective, for example, if he went behind like this and tried to harass these locations, especially since he seems that if Said army is engaged here, the wood lines should be exposed. As you can see here, 12 men would be easily demolished by the cavalry here. So I really don't like seeing this cavalry here. I think this cavalry would be much more effective going behind the CC, going around and trying to find the gathering spots like this. As you can see here, you would be able to inflict a lot of damage here. You would be able to harass these farms. You would be able to deny this stone. Then going around to the other player like Ricksand here. Yeah. I think it should be much better than going on the front line here. Make a strong defensive position, and he's doing that with this fort. I really like to see that, but do not engage in the front line with the cavalry, even though they are quite strong. Just go around the harass, because with this amount of cavalry, you should be able to inflict very economic blows, very high blows to the economy of the other players. Okay, coming back to this flank here, we see finally an unknown player living with his runs. He's testing the waters with these 2 runs, seeing if there are swordsmen. And we see some swordsmen coming from Chester. 32 right now. So Chester was able to identify that he didn't have a lot of swords, and rightfully so, he made a lot. So this is good for him. But we see still a little bit of passivity from unknown player. And if Chester and Raul's both 2v1 Wendy here, this could be really bad for his team.
EST?
Now, on this flank, I am favoring T1 position a little bit. Just because Said and both Said and Rickson, they have such a strong position here. I think the extreme is being made to trying to defend from a lot of flanks for the other side. So, for example, extreme is flanked by the top here, by the right here, also by this side. So this is a good damage to extreme that is not being able to freely economy out and probably leave this position. I don't like seeing that Boudica is not making use of this cav for economic damage. I think it would be much more effective going around to the other side and trying to inflict that. Maybe he's afraid from Ricksand reaching him. I think it would be good for Ricksand actually to attack him, but since he's not, I think it would be good for Boudica to be able to leave here. And they are letting Rickson have this map control here. Yeah, this is quite bad. And we see also that Said has made a breakthrough on this location. Now, on this location here, we see that Wendy's army was cut off, and this is quite bad for them. We also see unknown player going for trying to go around. I'm not sure this is really good. I think he can do a decent economical damage, especially since Chester does not have units in position and Raus has to be concerned with Wendy. But with this previous fight that went quite bad for Wendy, Raus should be able to go around and also have this location here. So I'm not too happy about this attack from unknown player. I think they would be in a much better position if, for example, they invested resources going for Raus or someone else. I think it might be a waste of time here, but I might be wrong, who knows. I really don't like this. Naked Rams in this location. Now, at the same time, we see that Said was able to break through this location. Boudica is in no situation to support here. He still has his cavalry fighting here on the flank. I really don't like seeing that. We also see that extreme population has declined considerably. He has a lot of problems with wood. And this is a little bit derived from this denial, territory denial that Rickson was able to make this tower. A pretty big mistake to let Rickson take this location. The location that was vulnerable, in which I thought that T2 had a considerable advantage, was this one with Wendy and unknown player. But I think they didn't really coordinate well. Wendy went for a risky push that didn't pay off, was cut off by Raus. Yeah, and I don't think that T2 is in a good position anymore. And we might even see Wendy, we might even see Extreme here having the CC taken out. Extreme does not have any anti-ram. He does not have swordsman. Yeah, this is quite bad for him. And Boudica is still fighting with his cavalry under tower fire here. I really don't like to see that. Now we see Chester going for an additional fort. Well, actually not additional. His first fort, his other one was denied in this location. I'm not sure I like that again. I really don't like seeing this, because they should be in such a great spot. I think Chester would be more efficient trying to boom out or defending from this push here. I think this is a really strong push from unknown player. Unknown player probably has all the upgrades. Let's see. Yeah, he has all military upgrades except will to fight. He has also the armor for the Rams. So I think this could be a strong push, but I still don't like seeing this. I think it would be more efficient against other player like Raus. So for example, ignore this location and go straight to Raus. Look at this. Look at this open... Of course, he does not see what we see, but in my opinion, it would be stronger just going around, because Chester will not be able to project attack. He will not be able to project damage. Project power. So let him take this. Really, just let him take this position. I know it sounds bad, but if you are able to take out Rose, which is actually the one that is that is making Chester be alive yet, because both Wendy and unknown player didn't have issues with that, then it's over. This flank is over. If he takes down, for example, Rose from this side, Rose is totally out of position concerned with Wendy here. So yeah, but let's see if Chester can actually defend well. And you put 20 swordsmen here, and it's quite hard for the Rams to. Okay, yes. Let's see. I think another player might be going for Rose, maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. Wendy seems to be trying to deny this fort. Let's see. These are a little bit of good trades for him. Chester has a strong towers here, but they are not fully upgraded yet. What is unknown player doing? A little bit of undecisiveness, maybe? Okay. Now, unfortunately, Said does not recognize that Extreme does not have any garrison unit inside the CC. He should be able to send the Ram and try to destroy this, but for some reason he's not. I don't like Wendy trying to deny this fort. I really don't like it. We see that they are quite uncoordinated. This push from here and Wendy trying to deny the fort. I don't like seeing this. Okay, unknown player actually is still parked here against Chester. I'm not sure this is really great for him. I mean, okay, you can ravage the housing from Chester. Yeah, I think it might work actually. It might not be bad. Just to stay outside, force Chester to be occupied while he is not full maxed out. And we are having quite a bad lag here. Okay, so let's take this time just to evaluate what are the positions of the teams. Extreme is being harassed by these two catapults. His CC is just barely holding. But with these two rams, he should be able to out-repair the kata's damage. Extreme, Said. He still has two katas here. I'm not sure why he's not unloading, because he's really strong here. I think he should be able to bring these two katas and put more pressure on the CC. I think this is really good pressure because Ricksand is forcing Boudica to take really bad fights in this location, while Extreme does not have any army to defend against this. So I think you can safely bring the two additional catapults. He might have forgotten about those actually too. Yeah. So I think this flank is highly in T2's favor. I mean T1's favor. On this flank here, it's a little bit suspicious though. I think, yeah, this aggression is doing something, but it's not enough. It's not something that will decide the game, I think. I think Chester should be able, you know, to just delay this, make unknown player waste too much time here. Well, not with bad fights like this. He does not need to engage here. Yeah, I'm not sure he even needs to engage. But with the cutoff from Rose, yeah, this could be effective. I'm not sure this far to finish, but yeah, what we see here. Yeah, they should be able, yeah, he should be able to defend this flank. So, yeah, I don't really like T2's position here on the north. Yeah. I think they will defend or even cause Wendy and no player to have to have heavy losses. Now, on the other hand, on this flank here, oh, okay, Bonica is going down. Yes. Yeah, I think this is, yeah. Now, what is really sad for Said is that he does not have the katas here. Now, does Bodica have... Bodica, what does it have?
DSC?
He has only Javelin cavalry, he does not even have melee cavalry. So this CC will go down for sure. This swordsman will not be made on time. Yeah, I think T2 has got it. Oh, actually, what we see here... Raul's lost a lot of army here. And he lost a lot of army here as well. So Raul's is in really a bad spot at the moment. Okay, I think it paid off for... Well, not paid off, but I think they really took bad fights here. And we see Wendy with a very strong position here. Will be able to deny this fort and proceed. Okay. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Yeah. Now, unfortunately for them, Rose has quite a big of a bank. And he's producing... Well, fortunately for them as well, he has only 3 barracks. But unfortunately for them, this bottom flank is demolished. Okay, now what T2 can do to win is to try and steamroll here as much as possible. The problem for them is that Raul's, the unknown player, is actually taking some bad fights here. He's also concerned a lot, trying to destroy Chester. So I don't think he will feasibly go to Raul's anytime soon. It depends on Wendy though, if she or he decides to go there. Now Bodica was able to keep with his population, but Rickson should come really strong against him, especially if he comes from this flank, which is quite exposed.
DSC?
Yeah, I was expecting one player to be pushed off here. It's me. This push has no continuity. And he didn't even pop cap Chester, but what he was able to achieve was that Chester does not have any wood production. He does not have farms as well being used. So, and Chester has only 3 barracks. Now, if Wendy and Chester and a non-player are able to capitalize here and go to Raul's maybe, I think this could be very strong. Okay, extremely going for the CC here, but Said can deny with his katas, so I'm not sure what's going on. And I really think that Said forgot about this. Oh, he actually brought them out. Where are they? Where are those katas? Where are those katas from Said? Oh, okay, they are here. Yes. So he has these 4 katas, and he should be able to deny this. But he should not take these units out of position. He needs to defend this flank for the katas as well. And make sure Extreme does not rebuild. Yeah, I'm not sure T2 will be able to win this game. Okay, unknown player forcing Chester to commit a lot of units. This is good.
see? Yeah, see?
He finds his pocket, but unfortunately for him, it's not women only. So he'll lose these units here.
Yeah, see?
And I think it was a mistake to bring the ram as well. This ram could be doing some work for him in this location. And on this Kata war, it seems that Extreme was able to hold on to his fort. Yes. A little bit of a mistake, not killing this catapult. Now, what is a problem here? I think is that yeah, I'm not sure there's much to comment actually. I think T1 has got it. It requires a lot of mistakes to throw this game actually. Because Extreme is virtually dead. I mean, okay. I think it's nice that they are wanting to wipe out Extreme here. I'm not sure it's good for them actually. But fortunately for them, Boudica is not actually using his cavalry for economic damage. So, as long as Boudica keeps fighting here on the front lines with his cavalry, they should be fine. And they are actually not enabling Boudica to go to that critical mass where cavalry are actually so overpowered that they can win any fight. So Boudica is nowhere near that stage. So I really like that they are going to wipe out Extreme here. But only because they are unpunished by Boudica. Boudica is not actually using his coverage for economic damage. Okay, instead of wiping out Extreme, I think we see that Said is actually going for a push on Boudica. And as I mentioned before, this is quite an exposed location for Boudica. Yeah, I really don't like seeing this from Wendy.
Yeah, see?
Coming here. Yeah, because Chester can always just send the units to gather wood from this location and just distract all of these units. And unknown player going with the runs here. I mean, fortunately for them, Chester, okay, he didn't garrison units inside these towers. Okay. And it seems that anti-ram for Raoul's is ram.
Yeah, see?
If an player gets distracted, he might... Okay, he's not distracted. Wow.
Yeah, see?
I really like to see this from Wendy. Wendy, it seems that is going... Let me see, to whom? To Rixand? Yeah, it seems to Rixand. Okay. Yeah, I think it's actually better to not commit a lot here. But unfortunately for him, he should not do that if unknown player is 2v1 here. So I don't like seeing in this occasion. If, for example, they did when Raoul's or Chester were vulnerable after those big fights, then it would be good. But right now, they can 2v1 here quite easily. Chester and Raoul's. Okay, at the same time, we see that Said here coming with that previously mentioned push, but Said does not have a lot here. Only 8, yeah, he has more siege. He has more siege than population of some units here. So I think Boudica could get some good trades. Even though Said is full population, okay, Said is reinforcing now.
Yeah, see?
But Boudica does not have any anti-ram, any anti-siege here. Now this should be a good fight for... Oh, I see, nice. So pretty nice sandwich here. from Rickson and Raus on Wendy. This fight could go badly for Wendy. And these reinforcements are a little bit late to the party, I think. They would be much more stronger if they were together with the main army. And when the population is dwindling a bit, but not much actually. How many barracks? Okay, Wendy has 6 barracks. Not amazing, but at least Wendy is actually using them. So Wendy is able... well, yeah, now dwindling. Yeah, this fight is snowballing in favor of Rose and Rickson. Now, did Rose make more barracks? No, only 3. And unknown player gets pushed back. And Chester actually is max popped. Now these reinforcements from Said, it's nice, but I'm not sure it's enough. He needs more. Said, yeah. It should be enough, maybe. Yes. Let me see. What does Boudica have? He has only 1 armor and 2 range. No player has will to fight, actually. Yeah, this is going badly for no player. Oh, Rickson lost a lot of units and didn't replace them. Okay. Rickson with only 2 barracks. I'm not sure what's going on this match. The players, they don't make barracks. You are on late game. You should have something like at least 5, 6 to 10 barracks. And a non-player with that sneaky ram, I think it was that one that came here on the other time, takes out Raus. Raus distracted. I can't believe this. What is this game, man? Okay. Yeah, this is quite bad. Raus is in a bad spot. He took some... yeah. Okay, I think T2 is getting a turnaround here. But at the same time, Boudica is under pressure. But he has a lot of units here. Yeah, I think the tables have turned actually. A little bit. I like T2 position right now, even though Extreme does not have a CC. He's even rebuilding the CC. He was able to destroy the CC here. Oh, actually, when he destroyed the CC from Ricksand, I'm liking this for T2. Whoa, such a turnaround. Yeah, this sneaky ram was clutch. Rose is undecided on what to do at the moment. Okay. What is he here? Wendy killing a lot of Ricksand units. Ricksand does not have a lot of population. He has only 2 barracks. I'm not sure what's up with that. He does not have a lot of economy. Does he have minerals? He has stone. He should be able to take that stone, but he's not taking. Rickson does not have stone at the moment. He's not able to make slingers. Rickson is not in a great spot at the moment. Yes. If Wendy goes for Rickson, I think it would be quite strong. Goes for Rickson and maybe finish off Raus. Yes, I think I would like to see that, especially if they are concerned with a non-player on this flank. Especially since Raus is still okay. Raus is now remaking this CC. Okay, great, great for Raus. I mean, But I would like to see Wendy
Yes,
keeping these fights against Rixend. Maybe go to Rixend or finish off this location from Raul's. Raul's is quite exposed in this location too. You can take out all of his production. And I think this push is dead from Said. Yes, this push is dead from Said. He didn't reinforce well enough. But he's actually doing more damage to Boudica than Boudica is doing to Said, so there's that. But I think the threat of losing the CC from Boudica at the moment is under control.
DSD?
Yeah, and Wendy going to on Raul's spot, going near his fort. Rixen has a small force here. He does not have the economy to replace them. He does not even have the barracks to replace them. He does not have the stone to make barracks. I think Rixen is in a bad spot.
DSD?
3 rams, I think if he coordinated with unknown player, this could be really strong. For example, unknown player just leaves 1 ram here or 2 for defense and gives all others to Wendy and pushes on this side. I think they could trample both Rose and Rixend. Especially since they see that Boudica is being able to hold here Said. Said now is still trying to kill off Extreme. I really don't like to see that. I mean, yeah, I think this flank has no bite anymore. Has no teeth anymore.
DSD?
Small force here from
DSD?
unknown player. I'm not sure what he's looking for. Chester going for a defensive fort. Now, as I mentioned, unknown player is hibernating, as you can see here. 4k, almost 5k food, 3000 wood. I'm wondering when will... Okay, unknown player is leaving now, I guess, I hope. Let's see. Wendy with a strong push here. I'm not sure why he's going to Boudica, or to Chester. Yeah, he's finally fighting Rixend. And what is good for him in this fight against Rixend, first is that Rixend is not using the fort to his advantage, and second, Rixend cannot easily replace these units. Not only because Rixend does not have a great economy, but because Rixend, as well as not having gatherers on stone, does not also have barracks to produce units. So I think this is quite risky for Rixend. This is good for Wendy these trades here against Rixen. And even making Raus be distracted, Raus could be concerned with booming, but he'll have to lose units here. And possibly more units than he can replace. Wendy can replace all these units that Raus can reinforce with his limited economy and Rixen economy. So I really like this fight from Wendy. And what is funny about that is because Rixend really did not have to engage here. Not even Rixend and not Rose as well. Now this push is dead from Said, and Boudica is being able to push back. And Boudica, I think, should be able to have that critical amount of cavalry, in which cavalry becomes overpowered and starts winning all fights. But he needs to have more men on wood to be able to do that. Boudica had a few kills on the early game, but now Boudica should be able to improve his KD considerably. As you can see, Wendy population is 170 population, maybe 130 on a few units here fighting. Oh, we see Chester surrounding now. Yeah, this is not a... Okay, Wendy goes around. But as you can see the damage that he was able to inflict, look at Raus and Rixen population together. Now, if unknown player had supported this, and an unknown player unfortunately is hibernating, if an unknown player had supported this, it would be much more strong. Now, unknown player leaves, but he leaves after this main army from Wendy has died, so it's the worst of both worlds. You should coordinate to push together, not like that. If they had pushed together, they could have trampled so easily both Rose and Rixand. But since they are pushing now, one separated from the other, it's quite inefficient. Yeah, this is terrible for them.
EST?
Now from Boudica, he was able to push back. Said is still trying to retake this location. Extreme is recovering bit by bit. This kata push is quite slow. And Said was able to recover quite considerably.
EST?
But at least when the initial push did was to soften this army from Raoul's and Rixand quite considerably. So yeah, this could be a good push. He needs to look after his rams though. Make sure that these rams are not destroyed by the swordsman.
EST?
And Rixand has some on-trains as well. Chester with some good economic damage on a non-player.
EST?
A non-player does not have a lot of home, but he has a quite considerable bank.
EST?
Okay, a non-player is replacing his units. How many barracks does he have? Only 2 barracks. And the CC. Yeah. I'm not sure a non-player can support this push much, but fortunately for him, he's getting quite a few good trades. And he should be able to take down Raoul's with him. Now Wendy is supporting here against this push from Chester.
EST?
And he has enough to defend here. Now, unknown player finishes a ram against these 2 rams. Chester does not have upgrades, while Unknown has. So Unknown should be able to defend with just a single upgraded ram against these 2 rams, in my opinion. If he macros correctly. But it seems that Unknown player is not paying attention at the moment in this location. Now at the same time, Unknown player here in a big engagement against both Rixand and Raoul's. I think he'll have good trades, but the problem for Unknown player is this. 2 barracks only, and not using the CC. I mean, if you plan for a big push, at least you need to be able to reinforce that push. Yeah, and I think a non-player might lose all his units here. He has this Kiritai, but I think it will not be enough. I mean, it's nice that both Rose and Rixand lose their economy, but you are not killing anyone. I still like T2's position more. And what is funny about that is that once Wendy went strong and unknown player didn't support, and now Wendy is strong and unknown player is not supporting because he needs to reboom. Oh, actually, he has the economy, he has the bank to reboom. He does not have the barracks. He's not even used them. He's not using the CC. Now this is dead for a unknown player. But Boudica, as I was mentioning, I think he has the mass now. He has the mass to have the late game cavalry. 77 cavalry here. Which upgrades does he have? Yeah, he does not have the second armor upgrade for cavalry. I think that would be good for him. And Said resigns. Okay, yeah. Well played. Good hold from Boudica. So what's the summary of this game? Okay, I think that at the start of the game, what we had was Unknown Player did some early successful attacks on Chester. Chester went for some map control, which was not really good for him. He was quite in a bad spot. Fortunately for him, Rose was able to support well, and even if Wendy and both Wendy and Unknown Player were full population, they were not able to inflict a lot of damage on Chester. And they wasted a lot of time in this location, even though they had some good fights occasionally. Meanwhile, Said and Rixen both had a lot of map control here around the extreme, especially since Rixen needed these minerals that he had in this location because he was Athens. But and they were able to actually kill extreme and even push on Boudica. But since Rixen had changed his focus on the north side, this push from Said was not able to be supported. Boudica was able to push back against it, and ultimately Boudica was able to actually get the mass cavalry needed to win with late game. So yeah, pretty enjoyable game, a pretty big turnaround. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, I think I'll end this now. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and see you guys next time.